Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. This is the demo of what we are going to create in this video, a multi-step form with 4 different steps. And in fact, it is 5 steps, but I will show you why we are seeing 4 steps here. So we have step A with customer identity info, step B of customer business info, step C of customer financial info, and step D for confirming our form data. And if we agree term of services and we click this submit, we can go to the step final and our data would be submitted to our server. Also, let's refresh and show you different things. We can use this button or we can use this next and this pref button. And also you can hide this section. So let's go to the code. And here in the page.jsx, you will see this in the tutorial. If I show a step number is true, if I send false to this, and I will go back to our front end. So you can see that all of the steps on the top section of our multi-step form would be hidden, and you can hide them based on your business logic. Let's return it again. And for this simple multi-step form, I'm using a true for this prop of show step number. And again, you can see that I have them here, and we can click on them and change our steps. And this is it for the demo. So the codes are available inside of this repository. You can find the link of repository in video description. So let's go and start our coding. So let's start by cloning our GitHub repository. I have a repository with name of Next.js Tailwind Sandbox, and you can find the link in the video description. Let's copy its address and go to a folder you want. For example, in drive F, I will open a new command prompt here, and I type git clone this address. Then let's open this project on VS Code. And here I will open a new terminal, and first we need to use npmi because we need to install the required libraries. Then I type npm run dev to start our project on port of localhost 3000. And we can open it. Well, this is the project we are going to use. You can see I have some different features like select box, host scroller, tabs, slider. They are for the previous tutorials, and you can find the link of that videos in the playlist. You can find the link of playlist in video description, but we are going to create a new feature in this tutorial. So we need to create a new submenu here inside of this complex and create a page for it and continue. So let's go to our code. And I close the terminal. So I have a components folder, and in component, in layout sections, in main sidebar, here is my menu. So I want to create a new submenu inside of the complex. So let's go down, and I have the highest scroll bar, tabs and slider. So let's copy this li and paste it here. And this is it. So we use this icon again. For the link, I want this link to go to /complex/SimpleMultiStepForm. That's it. And for the title, I want to use a simple multi-step form. And this is it. So now I have a new item here, and I have this row. So we need to create a new folder with this name. And let's go to the first, let's close this main sidebar and go to the app. And inside of app, inside of the complex, we need to create a new folder named SimpleMultiStepForm. And inside of that, we need to create a new file named page.jsx. You know that in Next.js, this page.jsx would be recognized as our row. So let's use RAFCE. And if you're asking what is this, let me show you. I have an extension of ES7 Plus. This extension lets me to use RAFCE. You can use it. So this is it. I have a new page here, and inside of this page, I want to have some different elements. For example, for the main class name, I want to have a BG of white and a rounded of LG and margin X of 4. and padding of 4. That's it. And inside of that, I want to have an h1, and the text of it would be simple multi-step form. That's it. Let's use class names of text of blue, like 400, and text of 2x large. That's it. And let's check the result. Well, you can see that we have a new item here, simple ms form or simple multi-step form. If I click on it, I go to /complex/simple multi-step form, and this is my page. That's good. Let's continue. So here I want to have a new component and show that component here. So first, let's create that inside of this simple multi-step form. I create a new folder named components, and inside of these components, I create a new file name simple multi-step form.jsx. That's it. Let's use RAFC to create a simple component, and that's it. So now I can use that simple multi-step form here. Let's have some BR to have some space. And after that, I call that simple multi-step form. And that's it. Now we can see this and we can work on it. And also, because I wanted to show the step numbers as an optional feature, I can use a new prop here. For example, show step number equals to true. We can use this and we can work on it. So let's copy this and go to simple multi-step form and receive that as a prop. That's it. This is the main container of our multi-step form, and everything must be controlled here. So let me add some comment here. The first thing is, this is the parent component, and this component will control and manage all of the steps and data. So what we need to have here, so we need to have a first step with the data of customer identity info. Then I want to have another step with customer business info. And after that, I want to have a step C with customer financial info. Then I want to have a step with name of D for confirming our form data. And finally, I want to have another step with name of final, so I can show the success result of the form submit. And that's it. And after then, first let's create our main object of data here. So I want to have an object with name of initial form data for managing my data, and in that I want to have a first name with initial value of empty string, a last name with empty string, a business name again with empty string, a business city with empty string, a business website with empty string, and also a business email and an income per month. This time this field is a number, so we will have this 0 default value for it. Also, I want to have a text percentage with 0 default value, and also an agree to terms with default value of false. This would be a boolean, and these two would be some input of number, and all of them would be some text that we use input with type of text for them. So now I have the initial form state, and also after that I want to create a new array with name of steps array. And inside that, I will have A and B and C and D. I will use this array to show some steps in my component. That's it. And after this steps array, we can go here and work on our component. So the first thing is I want to have a state for my step. So I use const of set and set step equals to use a state with default value of A. So my default value of step would be A. Then I want to have another state for my data. It is a state with default value of initial form data, and that's it. So I have two states, and I will control everything with these two states. After them, I want to have a method to go to the next step. So let's create it. And this is a handle next step function, and inside of that, I will check everything. So I say if a step equals to A, you need to set a step to B. And after that, I say else if step equals to B, you need to set a step to C. And after that, we say else if step equals to C, you need to go to step of D. And that's it. Let me format the document. We don't use this final. I will show you later why this is it. So this is an independent function, and it will handle the next step. And then let's copy this because we need to again have another one for go to the previous step. So we need a method to go to prev step, and this is handle prev step. And here it is a reverse. So we say that if the step is D, you need to go to step C, and else if step equals to C, you need to go to B, and the final one is if step is B, you need to go to A. And that's it. You can see that how easy it is. So we have two methods to control the next step and previous steps, and they will work on the step state. And that's it. After them, we need a method to update our form data, and this is it. So I will create a new method named of handle change input, and this method will receive an event which is an input event, and we will work on this event. So first we'll create a new variable named field name which equals to event.target.name. After that, I will create a field value variable, and I want to update this field value. So I will check that if the field name equals to agree to terms, I will use field value equals to event.target.check, and else I will use event.target.value. Let me show you why this is it. So if we go here, you can see that this agree to term is a Boolean value, and we will use a checkbox for it. But all of them, all of the others are text and numbers. So for the checkbox, we use event.target.check, and for the others, we use event.target.value. And this is the reason why we are using this if. And after them, I will have the field name and field value. So I simply say that set form data with the previous form data with the structure them. And also we use field name equals to field value. So let's format the document, and here it says that form data, we have an error. Yes, this is it, form data and set form data. Yeah, no, it is true. Format document, and this is all of the function we need to handle our change input. And after that, we need to have another function for handling the final submit. So we need a method to do a final operation, and here we need to have another function. So I use a new function named handle submit form data, and inside of this we can do a final validation and then submit our form. So I will check a simple validation, and I check if the form data.agree to term is false. I will use this alert with type of with the message of error. You must agree to term of services, else I will set a step to final, and this is the final thing we want. So let's format our document, and that's it. Also, I want to show you the data changing. So I will use a use effect, and with change of our form data, I will simply log all of my form data. And that's it. So now we have everything we want, and after them, let's have another section here for rendering our step numbers. So I use render top step numbers, and this is an arrow function, and inside of that, first I will check if our show step number is false or step is equals to final, you return null. And after that, return section, and for this section we can use some class names like margin top of 2, margin bottom of 4, and flex, and also justify of between. And inside of this section, I want to render my step array.map, and for each one I will receive an item, and for each item I will render a division, and for this division I can use key of item, and after that I can use some class names. Let me close this to see it better. So I can use some class names like width of 8 and height of 8, also flex and justify of center, and align items of center, and border of 2, and border gray of 600, and rounded of full, and also cursor of pointer, And then I want to have a conditional classes. So I say if item equals to a step, you need to use bg value of 500, else you need to render nothing. And that's it. After class name, we can use an onClick and we set the step to items. And after that, we can render the item inside of this division. So let's format the document, and this is the section we want to return. So this render top step numbers will return everything we want. Then let's go to the final return. And here I want to change it a little. So for the main division, I will use some class names like width of 600 pixel, maximum width of full, and padding x of 6, and padding y of 1, and margin x of auto, and rounded of LG, and border of 2, border of dotted, and border sky of 300. That's it. And after this, we can simply call our render top section numbers, and this will render all of the numbers. So let's format document, and that's it. After that, it is time to render steps. And for rendering them, we need to have some steps. So let's create some steps here inside of this component and use them. So the first thing is step a.jsx. Let's use RAFCE. Then step b.jsx and step c. Also step D. And finally, we have the step of final. .jsx. So let's check them. I have step A and step B, step C, step D, and step final. We can use them. Let's close them and go back to SimpleMultiStepForm. And here you want to render all of them. So I will check all of them one by one. And I say if step equals to A, you need to render step A, else you need to render null. And let's check the import. And you can see that the step A is imported. That's good. And after this, let's copy paste and use step B. So if step equals to B, you need to use step B. And let's copy paste again and use C. We use step C. Copy paste again. And if step equals to D, we return step D. And the final one is step final. So let's copy paste and we say if step equals to final, return a step of final, else return null. Let's format our document and check the import quickly. So you can see that all of them are imported automatically, but if they are not, you need to import them here. So now we have all of the steps. And let's go to the front end and check the result until now. Okay, here you can see that it says you're importing a component that needs user state, and we need to use client because this is going to be a client component. So let's copy this and go back to our application. On the top of this SimpleMultiStepForm, we need to use this, use client. Let's format document and go back again. Well, now we can see a beautiful view of our components. So we have step A and we can click on them because we use onClick. You can see that by clicking everyone, we can see the step, and also the background would be changed because the state is changing. That's good. Now let's continue and work on our steps. We need to pass some data and some functions to our different steps. So first let's go and do this, and then we can continue working on our steps. So for step A, we need to pass something to them. For example, the first thing is form data. I will copy the name of it from here. And I pass the form data to it. Next thing is handle change input. So let's copy the name from here and pass the handle change input to it. And after handle change input, we need to have the handle next step. So let's copy this from here and pass it to step A. So step A will receive these as its props. Let's format the document, and that's it. So for step A, we need to send all of these to it. And also, we need all of them for step B. So let's copy them and send to step B. For step B, also we need form data, and yeah, we need handle change input. Also, we need handle next step, but we can use handle pref because on step B, we have step A of its pref. So let's go to handle pref step and copy its name, and we pass that here to step B. Let's format document, and so this is step A and this is step B. Then we have step C. For step C, everything is like step B. So let's copy all of them and pass them to step C and format our document, and that's it. So finally, we have step D. First, let's copy all of them and then format document. No, let's talk about it. In step D, we need form data to show them. That's right. And we need to handle change input again. Yes, because we have some input. We'll see it later, the checkbox. Then we can handle previous step. Yeah, but then we don't have handle next step because it is the final step that we can go to next. So we can delete this, and instead of it, we can use handle the final one, which is handle submitted form data. This is the only place we can set a step to final. So let's use it here, and that's it. So this is all of the inputs that we need to send to our components as props. No, they are all completed. Let's go and work on them. So first thing is step A. Let's copy these and use them on step A. So in step A, let's use them here. So I need to receive the form data and handle change input and handle next step. You can see that I'm copy pasting them to be faster. No, let's format our document. That's it. So I'm receiving form data, handle change input, and handle next step as props. Let's work on it. The first thing is, in this division, I want to have an H1, and I want to use this text, step A, customer identity info. And I want to have some class names like margin top of 2 and text of X large. Also, I want to have font of bold and text of blue of 900. That's it. And let's format document. So after this H1, I will create a simple division with class name of margin by of 2, and that's it. I want to have a label inside of this division, and inside this label I use a first name, and after that I want to have an input. So this input type would be text, and we will use the name because we have the event.target.name on the main component, and for the name we use first name, so this would be recognized as first name field. And then I want to have the value for it. I will use form data.first name because we are receiving this form data. After value, I want to have an unchanged function, and for this function I will pass e, and I use handle change input with this e event, and that's it. After that, let's have class names. Let me close this Explorer, and in class names I will use width of full, also outline of none, and border of gray 400, padding x of 2, padding y of 1, and rounded of LG, and also on focus I want to have a beautiful blue border, and that's it. So let's format our document. Now I have a division, and this division can be used everywhere, so you can change this as a component, but I simply use this and I will copy paste it and use it everywhere I want. So I will copy this, and again I will use it here. So this is another division with class name margin by of 2. It is a last name. For the input, the type is again text, and this is last name. Let me copy it from here to be sure that I don't have any error. So this name would be last name, and the value is form data dot last name. Again, unchanged is same, and also the class name is same, and that's it. After this division, let's have another division, and for the class names we can use margin y of 2 to have some space, and also flex and justify of n, and also align items of center. That's it. And inside of that, I want to have a button, and I use next for its label, and also I can have some class names like bg green of 400 and padding x of 4 and padding y of 2, and also rounded up x large. And also after that, we can have some on click, so let's use it on next line. And on click, we can simply call this prop handle next step. So let's format document and check the result on our front end. Well, this is our step A. So beautiful, and you can see that on hover it has the blue border. Also, the other steps are empty yet, but our step A is something like this. And if I click on this next, it will go to step next, which is step B. That's so good. So let's continue. Here we created our step A. So let's go here to step B and work on it. So we can simply use this step A and copy everything inside of it and change them because they are all like each other. So I will minimize this division inside of step A, okay, and I will copy all of them, and inside of step B I will paste them. Let's minimize them for now, and then we need to receive the props. So let's copy the props of step B, which is here. I'm copy pasting because I want to avoid typo errors. So let's copy all of them, and here we receive form data and handle change input and handle prev step, also handle next step. So let's delete these, we don't need them anymore, and format document. That's it. Now let's work on it. So here the first thing is this h1, and here this is step B, and it is customer business info. That's it. And then we will have some different inputs. So let's delete the second one and work on them one by one. So the first thing is I have a business name. So you know what, let me go here and copy them from here. So business name, city, website, and email, these are the data we need here. So let's close step A, and here paste all of them. This is the data I want to use. So the first thing is business name. So let's use it here, and you can see that we are changing our data based on what we need, and this is so good. So this is it, the business name, and its input type is text. Yeah, the name is business name, the value is form data dot business name, unchanged is equal, and the class names are equal. You can see that how cool it is. So let's copy this and paste it again. The next thing is business city. Let's cut it, and for the label we use business city, and for the name we use business city. For the value, form data.business city, and unchanged and class names are the equal. So good. Let's go to the next one, which is business website. Let's cut it. Or you know what, before cutting it, let's copy this to have another one, and then let's use business website here, and input with type of text, name of business website, value of form data.business website. So good. So let's copy this, and for the final one we have business email. Let's use it here. So we have business email and also business email. So this input type this time is email instead of text, and we can use name of business email and value of business email. Unchanged and class names are equal, and that's it. The next change is here because we are on step B. Also, let's first delete them. So we will have handle prev step and handle next step. So we need to have another button. Let's copy this button and paste it. So for this time, because we have two buttons, this time here we can use justify of between So justify with between, align items would be center, and justify content would be between. Then for the first button, I can use a BG of yellow of 400, and the other classes are good. So this time this is the prev button, and I will use handle prev step. That's good. So let's format data and format our document. So I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's so good. So let's check our result on front end. Okay, now you can see that I have step B with its title and 4 inputs. That's so good. Also, here on step A we have next, but here we have prev, and also we have next. So good. Let's continue and go to step C. So let's go to step C again. And here, because it is like step B, let's go to step B and copy everything. So you can see that copy pasting will help us a lot. So I will copy all of the object of props from step B and paste them inside of step C. And that's good. Also, let's copy all of these divisions and paste them here. That's it. So first, let's format our document and delete this React. I don't need this. So we are receiving form data and handle change input, and prev and next, they are true. But here we use step C, and here we use customer financial info. This is the H. So we just need to have 2 divisions. So let's delete the third and the fourth. That's it. So let's copy the data of them. So these 2 fields are for step C, and let's paste them here and use them. So income per month is the first one, and for the first division we use income per month. That's it. And this time this input type would be a number, and the name would be income per month, and the value would be form data dot income per month. Unchange is the same, and class name is the same. So good. The next one is tax percentage. Let's cut it and paste it here. So tax percentage, input type is number, and the name would be tax percentage, and the value would be form data dot tax percentage. Unchanged is equal, and class name is equal. And then we have the prev button and we have the next button, and they are okay because we have them. So let's format document and delete this. We don't need them. Again, format document and check the result on front end. So let's go to step C, and you can see that I have step C, customer financial info with these, and they are input with type of numbers. So let's go to next, next, that's good, and next. Well, it seems that they are working good. Let's go to step D. Okay, let's close step C and step B and work on step D. So here, first we need to receive some props. Let's copy them quickly from here, from SimpleMultiStepForm, and use them again. So I will use step form data and handle change input, and handle prev, and handle submit form data. Here we don't have the next. And let's delete these and format document. So this is step D. This time, let's copy the H1 from one of the steps. Okay. And inside of this division, I will use this H1 with class names of Magenta 2 and the other classes. That's good. But here it is step D for confirm form data. That's it. And this time, because I want to have some different rows and they are equal, I will create another component here and I will use it. So I want to have a separate component to show our data. And here I will create function named data confirm row, and this is an arrow function, and this arrow function will receive some props like label and value, and it would return a division. And for this division we can use some class names like margin y of 3 and we use border and border dashed and border gray of 200 and padding of 1 and also rounded up LG. Then we can return an span and we can use some class names like margin right of 4 and also text slate of 500 and we can use label. After that, we can have another span with class names of margin right of 4 and text slate of 900 and we can return the value. So this would be our separate component and it would return this. So it would receive label and value and it would render this division for us. Let's format our document. Now we can use this data confirm row here and show them. For example, for the first one, let me show you you can use data confirm row. It would receive a label and it would receive a value. That's it. So let's copy paste it multiple times. I want to have 8 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's it. So for the first one, I want to use a label of first name and the value would be form data dot first name. That's it. And let's do this for all of them one by one. So you know what, here we don't need this. We can use simple string. That's it. The next data confirm row would be last name and we can use value of form data dot last name. The next one can be business name and value of form data dot business name. Next, we can have business city with value of form data dot business city and business website with value of form data dot business website and business email with value of form data dot business email. And then income per month with its value of income per month and also tax percentage with value of form data dot tax percentage. Let's delete them. We don't need them anymore. We can pass this as a string. That's it. And also let's use some colon here and format document. So this is it. We can have different data confirm row with these values and use them. And after this data confirm rows, I want to have another input for checking the agree to terms. So again, let's have another division. And you know what? Let's copy it from one of the steps. For example, from here, to be quicker, I will use this division and I will use class names of, this time I will use margin y of 4 and I use flex and items of center. That's it. So first I will use the input, then I will use the label. So let's cut it and use it after this input. So for the type, we can use the checkbox. That's it. For the name, we need to use agree to terms. Let's copy it from here. And this is the name of our input. And also for the value, we can use form data dot agree to terms on changes equal. And for the class names, this time, let's delete all of them because this is a different checkbox input. So I use width of 4 and height of 4 and margin right of 2 and accent color of pink of 300. And on focus, I use accent of pink of 500. That's it. And for the label, I want to use HTML4. So let's get an ID. Let's copy this and here let's use an ID for it. So we can use this ID in this label and by clicking on this would be triggered. And here, let's delete this and type I agree to terms of services. That's it. Let's format document. So this is the next division. After this division, which is for the input with type of checkbox, again, we need to have the buttons. Let's copy the buttons from step B, for example, because we have 2 buttons in this step, and that's good. So let's, this is the division we want. Let's copy it from step B. And after this division, paste it. So again, I have the margin by of 2, flex, justify of between, and align terms of center good. So the first button would be again BG yellow with handle previous step. It's okay because we have the previous steps here, but we don't have next step. We have handle submit. So let's copy this name. And for the second button on click, we call handle submit form data with label of submit, and also let's change its color to be different. So here we can use, for example, let's say blue or black or any color you want, and format the document. That's it. Let's check it on the front end. So now I have step A, and I have step B, this is step C, and this is step D. So here you can see that I have these beautiful rows and they all are here. So I have first name, last name, business name, city, website, email, income, tax percentage, and I have this. I agree to term of services and prep and this. So if I click here, you can see that I have this alert. It says error, you must agree to term of services. So if I agree to term of services and I click, I will go to step final. That's so good. So let's complete the step final. So let's close step D and step B and go to step final. This is it. I don't need this React anymore. I don't have any props. And for this division, inside of it, I can have an H1. You can simply copy this. So let's copy from one of our steps and paste it here and change it. So for this H1, I have margin top of 2, text of X large, font of bold, and text below of 900. That's good. So this is a step final. So this is a success result, and that's it. Let's format document, and after this H1, I want to have another division with class name of margin y of 4, and inside of that, I want to have H3. I want to type data submitted successfully to server. Let's format the document, and I think everything is completed. So let's go to SimpleMultiStepForm and check the functions. So this was the first function, handle next step, okay, handle previous steps, handle change input. This will handle them. You can see that if the field name is agreed to terms, we will use event.target.check, else we use event.target.value, and this is because the input with type of checkbox. And that's it. And in handle submit form data, here we can have the validation. So I will only check the agree to terms, but you can validate everything you want. I just simply show an alert, else I will set the step to final. That's it. And also let's go to the page, and here you can see that I'm using show step number of true. So let's go and check our process one time. Let's refresh here and wait for it. And I will open the console to see the processes and if I have any error or not. So that's good. Here you can see that I have everything. Let me show you in the use effect. In a simple multi-step form, I'm using this use effect to log everything. This would be triggered on the mount, and then on updating of form data, we can log everything of form data. Let's go back. In the initial value, the agree term is false and everything is empty string, and income per month and tax percentage is 0. That's good. So let's work on it. First name, I say it is Muhammad. You can see that it would be triggered and the first name is updating. So good. So I will use Muhammad and the last name of Tahiri. Let's check. Well, we have last name and first name. So good. Now let's go to the next step. Here I have business name. For example, I use Devon Power. Before business city, I use London. And sample business website and an email, and let's check them. So yeah, so good. Let's go to the next step, and here I have income per month. I use 1000, and I use tax percentage of 15. Now you can see that I have them. Good. Let's go to the next, and here you can see that I have all of my data. I can show them to the user, and he will see all of the data. If he has any error, he can go back. For example, using this prep, he can go to every step he wants, and also again use this next. And we have another options. We can click on these steps because we use on click, and you can see that by clicking on these steps, you can change the step. That's so good. So finally, we have this data. You can see that this data is persisted on changing the step, and that's so good. So if I click here on the submit, we have error. We cannot submit because we must agree to terms of services. But if I click on this, you can see that the step is final and our data is submitted successfully to server. Congratulations, we implemented our simple multi-step form correctly and it is working. Now let me show you another feature of this. We use an input prop. Let me show you. We use input prop of show step number. And here on the page, we are passing show step number of true. So let's pass false to it and see if it's working or not. And this time you can see that it is not here. Why? Because we said you must be false and it would not be shown here. So we just can use the next and the prev button. So it's up to you, and you can see that how you can manage your form by different props. And also let's go and check it again. I will pass it through again. And let me show you that what is happening. So inside of the function, this is the function that renders that section of step number. So here first we say that if show step number is false or a step is not final, return null. So because it is false, this condition would be true and we will return null. We don't see anything. That's good. But this time we are sending true. So this is true and it will check that if a step is final, returns true, else it will returns this section. So on a step of final, we just return null. So let's go to the front end and check it again. So we are in this row /complex/simple-multi-step-form, and this is it. So we have access to steps by clicking on them. So good. And let's check it for the final time. Muhammad Tahiri, next. Devon Power, London, devonpower.com. And this is it. Next. So percentage 100, income per month, and percentage 2. Next. Okay. Now we can see that all of our data is here, and if I click on submit, I must agree to term of services. Okay, I will agree and submit. That's it. All of our steps are handled successfully. So this was for the tutorial of today. I hope this helps you. Let me know your opinions on the comments. Have a good time and goodbye.